This is my story, how I, as an average nurse, built a $1 million portfolio by age 29. It all started off with a hobby called Magic the Gathering. It is a trading card game. I slowly learned more in depth about the finance aspect, the rare cards, market trends, and appreciation in value. So, these were the cards I bought back then. They probably cost like few $100 or less than that. Now they are probably worth like thousands of dollars. And when I started working as a nurse in this uniform, even though my salary was kind of miserable, I think 1.6 to $2,000, I continue to invest part of my salary into this card game so I can continue to grow this particular portfolio. And even till today, I continue to invest, buy, sell when there is opportunity. So that pretty much kickstart my investing journey. I managed to build this card portfolio into about $100,000 before I move on to the stock market. After years of investing in Magic Card, I realized you cannot rely on Magic Card alone. There is a need to diversify. That's where I discovered Singapore Stock Market Exchange for the local context. And I want to take this chance, right, since I'm here, to show you one of the original REIT I invested in. Right behind me is called Capital Integrated Commercial Trust, known as CICT. So this is Bugis Plus, managed by them, one of the most solid, more solid REIT with very strong fundamentals. To be honest, back then when I first started about stocks, right, I was quite clueless. I actually had to self-learn, and I have to go to library, the internet, all over the place to find bits and pieces of information and try to piece them together myself. So I self-learned for about 7 months before I bought my first Singapore stock, StarHub, which is a Singapore telco service provider. And then subsequently I added more stocks like SIA, REITs, Fraser Centrepoint Trust, ST Engineering, mostly blue chips, dividend paying stocks. So I was really passionate about the stock market back then, and then I spent about 2 to 3 years. I built up this Singapore stock portfolio to about 150 to 200k within that period. Chapter 3 of my investing journey. So while Singapore stock market are stable, I realized that the market that gives more return and more capital appreciation actually lies in the US market. So I started investing in the US market, and of course the usual stock that I buy were more beginner friendly. So I mostly focus on US dividend stocks when I first started. And mostly I bought like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, J&J, those kind of stable dividend paying coins. But then I realized one problem. After a few months, every time I receive dividends, I realize I have to pay 30% withholding tax to the US government. So example, I'm due for like 1k worth of dividends. I have to pay 300 to the US government, and I only receive $700. I realized quickly that is not feasible in the long run. So after that, I then started to research in the tech coins and things like even SPY, ETF 500, that kind, and QQQ. And I realized even SPY, like SPY 500, right, gave 8 to 10% per year, which is more than the dividend stocks. And the reason why I was interested in tech coins back then was because almost like 8-10 years ago, I started to realize technology is slowly being integrated to our daily life. People are shopping online, buying things online, and even businesses use a lot of computer inventory management system. And back then, Facebook, WhatsApp, or even like Friendster, MySpace, that time, people were like constantly using technology, and I foresee tech being the next big thing in the long run. And I even sold some of the Singapore stocks and the US dividend stocks, including putting most of my salary into the US tech companies. And my top 3 favorite company for the US tech line were Google, Microsoft, and Apple. Reason being, they have very strong moat, very sticky effect. Nobody's going to stop using Windows or Microsoft tomorrow. And they are strong management and very cash generative companies. And I would say after that, I also add on things like Tesla, more QQQ, more SPY 500, even things like TSMC, Amazon, I bought them. And I also embarked on option selling to get more premiums. And I would say this was the golden period for me. My portfolio significantly increased in value because of these tech companies and option selling that I embark on. And I think in just about 4 to 5 years, this particular US portfolio grew to about I think $400,000 to $500,000. Welcome to the last chapter of my story. So it was during COVID, I realized I was way overexposed to the market, especially when the stock market crashed heavily during COVID. I almost like 700,000 of exposure to the markets. So I decided that I need to diversify further, and that's where I bought a property here, a private property. And I actually trimmed some of my stocks and sold some of my Magic the Gathering cards to fund for this property. So fast forward today, I have about 200,000 in Magic the Gathering cards, 200,000 in the Singapore stock market, about 500,000 in the US market, and probably 200 to 300,000 in terms of valuation for this property, of course minus the mortgage. So that puts me about 1.1 to 1.2 million for my current portfolio today. Okay, what are the key lessons I've learned throughout my this investing journey? Number one, consistency. It takes time to grow your portfolio. So the best you can do is to make sure you invest consistently. So every month if you can. Number two, never give up. When you embark on this investing journey, when you start to save most of your salary and put into this stock market, all this stuff, right? People are going to bring you down. They will start saying things like, hey, why are you such a miser? Why are you so stingy? You should be spending money buying expensive car, watches, or getting the expensive drinks in the clubs. So people around you are going to find whatever words they can find in the entire dictionary to bring you down because you are doing things out of the norm. But I just want to say congratulations when you hear that. It means you're on the right track. People are often jealous and upset when you don't do the same thing as them. You are thinking out of the box, you are achieving more and doing more than them. I hope you learned something new from this video. And remember, if an average nurse like me can achieve a $1 million portfolio by age 29, I'm sure you certainly can. Just don't give up.